Hello and welcome to Elecspo, and it is time for part 2 of our Scottish Premiership experiment. If you didn't see part 1, I'll quickly catch you up. What I did was I made all 12 Scottish Premiership clubs and the teams from the Scottish Championship, I made them all filthy stinking rich. Every single team got £1 billion in the bank except for Celtic and Rangers. My plan was to end the old firm dominance in Scotland and give Scottish football the boost it needed, and my oh my has it worked. Last time out we'd looked at 10 years into the future and we've had dominance from Aberdeen, Dundee United, and we're even starting to see a little bit of progress in Europe. Can that progress continue in part 2? We're going to go another 10 years into the future. It'll have been 20 years of this new money in Scotland. Let's see how big a difference it makes in Scottish football. My name's James. Let's dive back into this simulation and see what happens in another 10 years of Scottish teams being really rich, except for Celtic and Rangers. Right, here we are on the 9th of June 2031. This is where we left things in part 1. Dundee United, the Scottish champions, 13 points clear of Aberdeen in second. There's Celtic down in 6th place, qualifying for the Europa Conference League. And Rangers came 10th. If you saw part 1, you'll know Rangers actually dropped down to the Championship. And you can also see there's a lot more European places up for grabs in Scotland. 3 Champions League places, a Europa League place and 2 Europa Conference League places. All of the top 6 qualifying for next season's European competition. As I said in the intro, we're going to do another 10 years of this experiment, so we'll do it in 2 parts. For now, let's go 5 years into the future. We'll go at the summer of 2036 and see what's happening in Scottish football. And as if by magic, here we are on the 7th of June 2036, another 5 years into the future, and the Cinch Premiership is still the 7th most reputable league in world football. It did go up to 6th place in 2032 and 2033, but it's dropped back down to 7th in the past couple of years. And once again, the champions are Dundee United. You can see from the table that there is no Rangers. That's because Rangers have dropped down to the Championship. They came second with 71 points and they won't be going up to the Premier League. The Premiership rather. They were relegated in 2032. They spent a couple of years in the Championship. They came up in 2034 and they've been relegated once again. In this experiment, that is 3 times that Rangers have been relegated to the Championship. What about Celtic? Well, as you can see, they have came 10th. 43 points on the board. No European football for Celtic. They're managed by Frank Lampard. How's their trajectory been over the past few years? Luckily for them, they haven't dropped into the Championship. The lowest they've came in this simulation was 9th or 10th now, as it's been in 2036. But their reputation's down to 3 stars. It's just not going very well for Celtic, to be honest with you. There are new dogs in Scottish football, but it is Dundee who are the champions, winning it by 5 points, with Ayr United coming second, also getting into the Champions League. Hibernian there in third, then you've got Hearts, then you've got Livingston. We've got Wraith Rovers, or Roth Ravers, as Jeff Stelling once called them famously. They're in the Premiership, sitting in 9th place, finishing above Celtic, but who have been the past winners over the past 5 years, and we are seeing absolute dominance from Dundee United. Lorraine Kelly's favourite team have won 7 titles in a row. We saw 4 in a row from Aberdeen between 2025 and 2029. Dundee won it in 2030, and since then they haven't been toppled. Has it even been close? Let's have a little look at the table. So the season prior, Dundee beat Ayr United by 7 points. So as we mentioned, in the current season, Dundee were 5 points clear of Ayr United. The season before that, it was once again Ayr in second, Dundee with a 7-point gap at the top. Season before that, Ayr again, second place, 8 points behind Dundee United. 2033, Dundee dominated, 95 points, well clear of Aberdeen in second. And in 2032, they were 11 points clear of Hearts. So it's Dundee United who are totally dominating Scottish football. Is that a good thing? I mean, the idea of this experiment was to end the Celtic and Rangers dominance, but instead, all we've done is created a new dominant force, and that force is Dundee United. What about the transfers? Let's see what kind of money is being spent in Scottish football. The most expensive signing in 2036 was Bohan Marich from Hearts to Ayr, 54 million quid. It's still big money being spent north of the border. Let's keep going back. Dundee. Christ, that might be the biggest one we've seen so far. Tomo Djugovic, who I assume is a regen. I think we're getting to the point where it's all regens now. He's a Croatian attacking midfielder. He's earning £200,000 a week at Dundee United, signed for £97 million from Juventus. What a big signing that is for Dundee United, and what a player he's turned out to be. Kai from Shakhtar to Ayr, the Brazilian centre-back, still real, £55 million. Let's keep going back. Are we going to eclipse that deal? We have. Dundee United. Christ, Dundee United are spending a lot of money. In 2033-34, the top 6 transfers in the country were all them. In fact, the top 8, absolute dominance. George Traore there, £99 million from Borussia Dortmund to Dundee United. And they actually sold him at, oh Christ, what a waste of time that was. Brought in for £99 million, only played 11 times in that first season, scored 3 goals. Season after, 4 league appearances, and then he was sold at a loss, going to Paris Saint-Germain for £71 million. Scottish football has gone absolutely crazy. Are we going to get a transfer that's worth more than £100 million? In 2033, no, but once again, it's Dundee with the 5 most expensive signings. Dundee again there in 2031-32. João Pedro's left, which is sad to see. And we've seen the 2031 transfers in part 1 of this video. Dundee United are an absolute juggernaut. What I want to see now is, if Dundee United are doing so well in the Scottish Premiership, obviously spending so much money, they're managed by Graham Potter. Actually, before we do what I was going to do, let's have a little look at the managers. See who we've had arriving in Scottish football. Patrick Vieira was at Aberdeen. He was replaced by Albert Samuel Okonga, one ex-Arsenal midfielder, being replaced with a current Arsenal midfielder, which is quite a... I mean, he's only a child, and in 2033 he's a manager for Aberdeen. Previously mentioned there, Frank Lampard at Celtic. That's not too big a shock. Albert Adoma at Hibs. Interesting. Nuno was the Dundee manager at one point in time. He won a few titles, I bet. Phil Neville there at Hibs. He's absolutely naff. Who else we got? Marco Silva at Wraith Rovers. Chris Wilder was also at Wraith. Stephen Gerrard at Dunfermline. Some fairly big names coming to Scottish football. But Brendan Rodgers, of course, leaving Dundee United. And he was replaced by Nuno Espirito Santo. Is there anyone else of note? Doesn't really look like it. But of course we might get more in the second part of this simulation. But now what I'm going to do is, I want to see what's happening in Europe. As I say, Dundee are dominating in Scottish football. So are they having any luck in Europe? Have we had a Scottish winner of a European competition? Christ, the start of the season for Dundee was absolutely amazing. Just so many wins. They even beat just normal Dundee 2 weeks in a row. Christ, they beat them on Wednesday, then they beat them on the Friday. There was a break in between. It wasn't that ugly for plain old Dundee. United, they're dominating. We're going to start with the Europa Conference League. Have we had a Scottish winner, or at least a finalist? Nope, doesn't look like it. No finalists since Celtic in 2029. What about the Europa League? Well, we haven't got a winner, but we have got a finalist, with Aberdeen making it to the final in 2034, where sadly for them, they were beaten by Paris Saint-Germain. But I mean, it just shows, for Aberdeen to get to a final against Paris Saint-Germain, I mean, goodness sake. What about the Champions League? No, Champions League still a bridge too far. What about this season? How far have Dundee gone in the competition? I'm assuming Dundee are probably the most likely to succeed in the Champions League. Didn't make it to the final, didn't make it to the semi-final. What about the quarters? No, they weren't in the quarters, the first knockout round. They were beaten in the first knockout round They were also joined there by Ayr, who lost to Juventus narrowly 3-2 on aggregate. What about in past years, the 2035 competition? We had Dundee knocked out in the first knockout round. They looked to be the only team to make it out of the group stages. Season before that, 33. Dundee, again, the only team to make it out of the group stages, but they were beaten by Man United on aggregate, 2032. Again, it is Dundee, the only team to make it out of the group stages. I feel like I'm offending a lot of Scottish people. I'm Dundee United. Dundee United beaten in the first knockout round in 2032 by Barcelona. So, I mean, Dundee are getting to the knockout stages, Dundee United, but they're the only team in Scotland that are making it through, and they're not making it too far. But perhaps that might change in the coming years. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to simulate another 5 years into the future. That'll have been 20 years of this simulation. It'll take us to 2041, and perhaps by then we will have had a Scottish winner of the Champions League. And I'll tell you what, it's not going to be Celtic, and it's certainly not going to be Rangers. Who will it be? Will it happen? Let's find out. Let's go 5 more years into the future. Right, here we are on the 6th of June 2041, 20 years of this experiment. And the Scottish Premiership is now the 6th most reputable league in world football. They did get up to 5th in 2039, down to 6th again. And once again, it is Dundee United who are the champions, pipping Livingston, who was second. Not pipping them, they were quite clear of Livingston actually. Then you've got Ayr in 3rd, then Aberdeen, then Hibernian. 9th is Rangers, and 10th is Celtic, who have been the past winners over the past 5 years. The Dundee dominance was broken, and it was broken by Ayr United in 2038. Come on up the Ayr. Bruno Lage, the manager there now. And that was their first ever Scottish Premiership win. The first time ever, and they've won a European Cup. We have had a Scottish winner of a European Cup. Ayr United in 2039 won the Europa League. Come on, what a time to be alive. Ayr United have won a fair few trophies, you know, 2 Scottish Cups, a Scottish Premiership, a Europa League, a European Super Cup, 3 Premier Sports Cups, and they were the runners-up in the Championship in 2032. Fantastic. Come on, Ayr United. I mean, since then it's been Dundee dominating again, and they are currently managed by Graham Potter still. Let's have a little look at their competitions. Well, they have also won a Europa League, winning it in 2037, and they also won a European Super Cup. So we've had 2 Europa League winners in the past 5 years. But have we had a Champions League winner? Before we do that, we'll have a little look at the transfers, see if we've had a transfer to break the £100 million mark. So the most expensive signing in 2041 was Goran Bozic, 64 million. You'll notice there's a £100 million deal at the top, but that's a player going from Dundee to Real Madrid. A transfer I don't think's ever happened, to be honest with you. Season before that, £84 million spent by Ayr United, 2039. Most expensive signing was Connor Winks from Southampton to Ayr, 82 million. Ayr have invested a lot of money. It's no wonder they won a title. There's another £99 million deal, Dennis July from Man City to Dundee. Let's check him out just for a little bit of fun. A 32-year-old Romanian centre-back, 250 grand a week. And he's been very, very good for Dundee United. And he's won a few titles along the way. What about 2037? No, still no £100 million transfer from Scottish football. But finally we have it, 2036, Patrick Gullenbeck from Borussia Dortmund to Dundee United, £100 million. A German striker who's very, very good based on his stats. Christ, he's incredible. He's already left the club, he's gone to Real Madrid, joining Real Madrid for £104 million. At Dundee, he got 10 goals in his first season, 21 in his second, and he went to Real Madrid in 2038, where he's been actually even better in La Liga. Maybe the Scottish Premiership is just a lot harder. I mean, based on his goal return, he's actually struggled more. Actually, no. The second season he was really, really good for Dundee. First season, you know, bedding in period, I guess. But within 20 years of every club getting £1 billion bar Celtic and Rangers, we have finally had a player move for £100 million. It's crazy what's happened to Scottish football, and for that to be the 6th or 5th most reputable league in the world is truly astounding. But have we just created another juggernaut in Dundee United? Let's check the European competitions out as we know. Actually, no, I've forgotten again. Let's have a look at managers. Or getting any more big names coming to the Scottish Premiership. I'm jumping the gun a bit here, guys. Manager movements. Let's have a little look. Aurelien Tchouameni. He was playing for Dundee United previously, I believe, in his career. Aye, he joined on a free from Monaco and he was absolutely mint for a few years. Well, he's a manager now with Hibs. We've got Scott Parker. Well, he was there. Devon Wrench, whose name I just find hard to say, it just doesn't look right. Simone Inzaghi. Who else we got? Will Hughes, Dominic Solanke, Thiago Motta. Some strange names come to Scottish football. No one like major good. Didi Hamann. Didi Hamann was at Aberdeen. Everyone wants a slice of Scottish football nowadays. Some big names. Daniel Farke there. Anyone else? That seems to be about it. As I've said 3 times in the past minute, some big names, but not like the elite names. They're not the likes of Guardiola's or Klopp's or a Zidane or... Oh, we did have a Pochettino. Pochettino's probably the biggest name we've ever had in the Scottish Premiership based on this. But now it is time to see what kind of success we have had in Europe. We'll start with the Europa Conference League. And in the Conference League, we still haven't had a Scottish winner. Hibs did get to the final in 2037, where they were beaten by Aston Villa. But the Europa League, as we know, Dundee won it in 2037, and Ayr won it in 2039. So those are your 2 Scottish European Cup winners. I mean, Christ, when was the last time a Scottish team won a European Cup? We've got no winners of the Europa League, or the UEFA Cup as it was back in the day. Champions League, have we had a Scottish winner? We haven't, and we haven't even had a finalist. The last time a Scottish team won the European Cup was Celtic in 1967. And that record was finally broken by Dundee in 2037 when they won the Europa League, beating Tottenham in Istanbul. Ayr United beat Inter Milan in Bulgaria. But let's have a little look at the Champions League, see how far we've been able to go in the competition. Let's get onto the tree. I've clicked on the wrong thing. Round, tree, that's what I'm after. First knockout round. So in the current season, Dundee beaten in the first knockout round by Barca. Ayr beaten by Bayern. So again, haven't made the quarters. In 2040, same again, Dundee United beaten by Inter Milan in the first knockout round. Ayr beaten by Benfica. 2039, we did make a quarter final. Dundee United were beaten by Real Madrid 5-3. Dundee United beat Chelsea in the first knockout round, and they were the only team to make it through the group stages. 2038, Dundee United were beaten by Real Madrid in the first knockout round, and Ayr made it through. Ayr got to a quarter final where they lost to Barcelona. What about 2037? No progress beyond the group stages, actually, by the looks of things. And in 2036, both Ayr United and Dundee were beaten in the first knockout round, which we already know because we looked at that before. But Scottish football has been turned on its head. It's been incredible to see what has happened to the Cinch Premiership. It is Dundee United who are dominating, spending ridiculous amounts of money, and now Livingston have came second and will be playing in the Champions League next season. But what I need you to do now is let me know in the comments below if you want a part 3 to this experiment. I'm loving it. I think it's really exciting. If you're loving it too, let me know in the comments below. If you want a part 3, I will more than happily oblige. But for now, we are going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Elecspo. And until next time, we will see you around.